All right, so this was obviously a big moment for the president, right? He campaigned on doing this, and here he is, basically 2 months from Inauguration Day, and signing this executive order. Joining me on the North Lawn, Harrison Fields. He is the principal deputy press secretary in the Trump White House. Harrison, thanks for being with us tonight here on the Hill. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, Blake.
You as well. So let me start with the response from Democrats. We heard from the president today. We just heard from Jeff Landry, the governor, as well. Here was Chuck Schumer. He said, quote, across the country, property taxes will go up while the quality of many schools will go down. Presidents cannot make departments and they cannot eliminate them either. Only Congress can do that. So let me take that one by one here, Harrison. It seems like the argument from Democrats is going to be that there's going to be a funding shortfall and it's going to fall on the states and property taxes and tax increases. That's sort of the argument that they're laying out. What would the White House say tonight?
Yeah, it's a weak argument, and Chuck Schumer, he's a lost man after his party is basically just leaving him out in the cold these days. But the reality is the Department of Education is funded to the tune of multiple billions of dollars, in which now will be delegated to the states. Listen, we have a Department of Education since 1979, and since then, what has it done for the individual education of America's students? A lot of people back home are scratching their head and thinking, I don't think very much. We have a crisis in this country with poorly educated students. Look at the city of Baltimore. In 2013, 15 of its high schools graduates were basically illiterate. That is a travesty in this country. We are spending money, a lot of money on education, some of the most money out of most developed nations. And we still are failing when it comes to education. So we have a problem on our hands, and the states and localities are the best people to fix it.
So we're in Washington, obviously. You're on the North Lawn. I got the Capitol building behind me, and you know the political dynamics, Harrison. When this was brought up, abolish the Education Department in 2023, when Republicans took up an education-related bill in the House, 60 House Republicans voted against the concept of eliminating the Department of Education. Does the White House believe that you have enough support to potentially go down the legislative path, or are you not even thinking about that at this point in time because of the political realities?
Well, the paint is still wet on the executive order, and now is the implementation of it. Now we have Secretary McMahon going to look and see how we whittle this agency down. And yes, there will be conversations with Congress on how to effectively eliminate it through Congress. But right now,
do you think you have the support?
We are just arguing that. I think we do. I mean, 2023, President Trump was not in office, and the reality is no one thought this could be done because no president had the courage to do so. So a lot of Republicans, we just had governors. You just had a governor here before. We had a bunch of Republicans here in support of this effort. And I think Democrats are also going to look at our education system and say the Department of Education does nothing. If this means my governor, my mayors, my school superintendents will now have more power in education, I think they're going to realize this is a good idea.
What do you make, though, of this Wall Street Journal poll days before the president took office? 61% opposed the idea of closing the Department of Education. When parents hear this around the country, they're going to hear shutter the Department of Education, and it seems like that's catching their attention, Harrison.
Well, if you talk to parents in my home state of Florida and you ask them how is education being done in Florida compared to a state, let's say like California, a lot of parents are going to say we want the education of Florida, in which they champion school choice, where we're not focusing on DEI or CRT, and where students and parents are actually getting those dollars in their pockets. Listen, the teachers' unions, other powerful politicians are not the people that should be dictating how our education should go. We need to localize education. This is exactly what this executive order does. We have a crisis on our hands when it comes to the education of our students. We have to bring it home. Washington, D.C. does not have the proper tools or the effective operation to make sure our students succeed.
Let me leave you with this. The president once again said this today as it relates to Linda McMahon. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
She's had nothing but success. So it's tremendous to have you, and hopefully you won't be there too long, but we're going to find something else for you, Linda, okay?
He reiterated the line there that hopefully Linda McMahon is out of a job. The president, we know, is in this job for the next 4 years, for the next 46 months. is Linda McMahon out of a job before President Trump leaves the White House?
President Trump, take him for his word. I mean, this is what the executive order does.
So yes,
it essentially
so it's
dismantles the
I guess that
Department of
gets
Education.
to I guess that gets to, can you guarantee, does this White House believe that the Department of Education is fully gone within the next 4 years?
President Trump is a man of his word, promises made, promises kept. I think the Department of Education will be bye-bye very soon.
Leave it there. Harrison Fields is the Principal Deputy Press Secretary with us tonight here on the Hill. Harrison, thanks for the time, sir. Talk to you soon.